decentralized finance market today is quite interesting. We have some things going on with the Spanish regulators warning about the crypto exchange. Let's see, Fitch ratings warns about El Salvador's BTC law, and then some other things with the top DeFi tokens, Kava, Inject Protocol, these kind of top gainers. But I'll really kick it out here with DeFi Pulse. As you can see, we're sitting at $82.22 billion. Beyond that, we have Aave dominance is at 15.78%. DeFi Pulse index is at 427.81. Let's see, total value locked in US dollars in decentralized finance. Aave, Instap, Curve, Compound, Maker, all at the top spot. I apologize for the wind, but yeah, let's go here with juicy NFTs. So non-fungible token volume, let me switch it over to the stream so you guys can see this. Like I said, okay, I'm testing out this new streaming software, so I apologize for any issues. I'm hoping you're able to hear me. Man, the wind is picking up, so I apologize again for the wind. But let me go here, change this real quick to this, to juicy NFTs. And again, in the playback version of this, I'll probably change some things up, but hopefully you're able to see juicy NFTs now in the live. But let's go there. If juicy NFTs is popping up, hopefully it is. We will see though. Ooh. Such a beautiful day here in Venice. Again, I apologize for anything like that that is going on with the quality. But let's see. Here we go. Get this going. Juicy NFTs. So, non-fungible token volume on the daily is around $3.6 million, up about 13%. CryptoPunks is doing $155,000 on the daily. Then Known Origin is the other one, and a Sandbox Lands. So with these, I've done a video on CryptoPunks, kind of detailing this non-fungible token made by Larva Labs, and I think it's quite interesting to recognize these trends that might be a bit nostalgic when people look back at this market and they go, okay, you know, what was happening in 2021 when non-fungible tokens, at least in the digital art space, were really taking off. That's kind of the only value I see. I personally don't hold any CryptoPunks. Now, I don't necessarily knock people who do, but I just prefer kind of a bit more tangible assets. And for my NFT plays, it's a bit more like investing in the exchanges. So things like Rarible, OpenSea, you have Nifty Gateway, these other things. There's ways to gain exposure to those platforms, especially Rarible. It's quite easy with the Rari token, especially if you were in early. So beyond that, as I was saying here with the crypt, let me pop this one up in here. Properties, let's go here, boom. Now you guys should be able to see the article. Spanish regulators warns about crypto exchanges will be Bybit operating without a license. So this is quite interesting. What's going on here? Change the size of this. I apologize if the stream's a little bit of a mess, but like I said, you know, if you're watching this back, you can let me know in the comments if you have any questions, anything like that. Really hoping the audio isn't messed up by the wind, but it just kills me to record inside when it's so beautiful in Venice. It's beautiful really everywhere around Italy right now. This time of year is really incredible. So I'm curious where you guys are at. If you have any comments, anything like that, let me know in the live chat. Hey Ikra, thanks for stopping by. Again, let me know, is the audio quality like ruined? Like, should I just completely reset it? I don't know. The wind might be having a bit of an effect on things, but thanks for stopping by, Ikra. So, Spanish regulators warn crypto exchanges Huobi, Bybit of operating without a license. So, Spain's National Securities Market Commission has warned 12 companies, including Huobi and Bybit, that they are operating without a requisite license. Now, this is something that's very, very important to understand. You can go after centralized exchanges, but you can't with these decentralized exchanges. So the beauty of decentralized finance, what this whole series is about, is to kind of move away from these centralized exchanges like Huobi, like Bybit that we see going after here. Because when you try and attack something like let's use Uniswap, for example, really like the top decentralized exchange, there's really no way to shut them down, right? So I think that's one of the beautiful things that we have available with decentralized finance is the ability to kind of get beyond these regulators and get beyond kind of some of these restrictions out there that are in the market that we have in traditional finance that ideally we don't have in the next 5-10 years with decentralized finance, right? So the whole point of this series, the whole reason I did it for 200 days, basically just tracking decentralized finance, tracking the total value locked in, mainly using DeFi Pulse and Juicy NFTs, is I think it will be so interesting just as a time capsule to look back on. That's kind of my goal with this channel is mainly documenting these things that I'm thinking about at a relatively young age, and then being able to look back at them like 10 years from now or 5 years from now and just go, okay, how have things changed? How have my thought process changed? What has this market shifted into? I personally think the crypto market will grow exponentially. I think we'll see a lot of shifts, major historical shifts in centralized finance, really traditional finance. Things like we're definitely going to see some sort of real estate market crash. We're definitely going to see some sort of stock market crash. And a lot of this will destroy a lot of people, to be quite honest. If you thought these other recessions were bad throughout history, I think the one that we will see, who knows exactly when it will happen, but it's going to be crazy. It's going to be insane, and you need to make sure you're hedged in this market properly, right? So there's many ways of doing this, having tangible digital assets, all these different things. I'll talk about this more moving forward, but basically this Daily DeFi is kind of commemorating the kind of output of videos on this channel. I've typically done in between 2 to 3 videos a day for the majority of Invest Global, and now I'm kind of shifting more into 1 video a day. That's kind of the goal, especially after I kind of move away from fast travel that I'm doing this summer and kind of set up for a month at a time like I normally do in whichever market I choose. I think I'll probably spend some time in Africa, maybe in Tanzania, and then head down to South America kind of to kick off 2022. But in this case, basically it'll be 1 video a day, maybe even just 5 videos a week, something like that. So higher quality, lower quantity, right? So it's been mainly focused on the quantity of videos with the channel so far. And thank you for letting me know about the audio, Ikra. So yeah, it's been mainly about the quantity of videos, just because I'm trying to. There's so much going on in capital markets, and I'm trying to cover that as much as possible while traveling. So it is quite a lot. So I apologize if the quality hasn't been there, but if you read a lot of my favorite books talk about MVP, a minimum viable product. So basically, when you're launching a business, instead of trying to perfect everything right away, just put it out, see, test, iterate, improve, all kind of with this experimental approach, which is really how I have this channel, right? So I have no idea how to stream. I've never really, before I started YouTube, I never learned about any of these things. These are kind of all different aspects to recording, to putting out videos, and I just kind of went in with it with an experimental approach and said, hey, I'll kind of learn as I go. 15 minutes before I was doing this, it was basically this whole kind of thought process on how do you set up a stream with a MacBook Pro, the newest MacBook Pro, and I guess OBS Studios is the way to go. So that's kind of what I did. I just kicked it off, tried doing this new setup, and maybe when I bring back Daily DeFi, I'll change to this. Maybe I'll have every single Daily DeFi be on this. I'm also considering maybe hiring someone and doing a new channel for Daily DeFi and kind of separating it from Invest Global, just because it's a lot to have Daily DeFi episodes and then normal episodes on other investment topics, kind of global investment topics that we normally discuss. But anyways, enough ranting there. Let's get back to this article. So Spain's National Securities Market Commission, I've talked about that. So the CNMV, which is the Spain's National Securities Market Commission, has warned crypto exchanges that they are providing investment services without the requisite license. The announcement has also targeted an additional 10 firms that are allegedly providing investment services without a license. According to the CNMV records, these institutions are not registered in the corresponding registry of this commission and therefore are not authorized to provide investment services or other activities subjects based on the CNMV's supervision. The CNMV statement said, let's see if we have the quotes here, we're an investment, so this is what the Gary Glunzer basically said. We're an investment protection agency, and right now, this asset class, Bitcoin and 100 of other coins that investors are trading at, is a speculative asset. And we want to do is provide some sort of basic protection against fraud and manipulation. So obviously this is important to do, but the next article I did want to talk about was Fitch. So I've discussed sovereign credit ratings in the past on this channel, kind of explaining them. Basically, which one I understand is just like most individuals in whatever country it is has their own strong credit score, kind of allowing lenders to see a bit more like the risk tolerance on, okay, should I lend this person money? What's the overall risk tolerance? What's the interest rate I should have them? Should it be a variable interest rate? Should it be a fixed interest rate? All these different things. They typically bring in like actuaries to understand these things. So over like 20 years, if you're lending this country, so just like a person, right? So if you're lending them $200,000 to buy a home, you have a fixed, you have basically a fixed risk. But if you're lending a country billions of dollars, the risk is pretty uncapped, right? Because maybe they'll need more funding, especially if it's in a time of war. So countries typically, like for example, Afghanistan, that's going through a lot of strife currently, which I might do a video on. It's a bit controversial, but I think I probably will do a video on. In times of war, you basically need unlimited lending, because if you don't fix the problem, if you don't fix what's going on with the Taliban, the problem will never really stop. So in this case, basically all countries, just like people, have their own kind of credit score. Typically places like Moody's, Fitch ratings, S&P is another one that does kind of these sovereign credit ratings that you can pay attention to. So Fitch ratings warns here. Let me pop this article up on the stream. Let's go here. Hope everyone is doing well. It is Tuesday, a beautiful day to be alive. Let's see. Boom. Let's go there. I'm really enjoying Venice. I mean, some parts of it are touristy. Man, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. There we go. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, hopefully that works. If Cointelegraph will pop up on here. Okay. Sorry about the kind of lags in the stream. Again, like I said, I'm testing out this software. I've never done kind of a live where I also screen record on the computer, but it's all an experiment, really. So let's go here. Let's see. If you have any questions, by the way, throughout this, it is kind of a Q&A, so just let me know in the live chat. If nobody has any questions, it's all good. I plan to be on here, just go through some of these topics, kind of more casual, but I did want to talk about this. So I've covered El Salvador's kind of move towards this whole Bitcoin is legal tender and their citizenship by investment program that's quite interesting with just 3 BTC. Some of these things have changed, but basically this sovereign credit rating company, Fitch Ratings, basically warned about the risk to local insurers. So Fitch warned that the mainstream Bitcoin without clarity can introduce volatility and operational risk for Salvadorans. I think this is pretty clear. I'm not sure exactly why Cointelegraph uses this picture for the article, but I won't spend too much time on this because it's not popping up. So let me hop over this and change some things here. The properties, boom. Okay, let's just change that since it wasn't popping up. There we go. Okay. So anyways, with this whole Fitch ratings things, there's obviously a lot of risk for this, right? You have to be, if you're going to be innovative, you have to take risks. You have to understand the risk tolerance. I think El Salvador gets this, but they already have so much risk in the country, and I think that's one of the things that you really have to pay attention to is El Salvador has a lot of problems, especially with safety in the country. And when they add something like this and they're being a bit more innovative, they're, again, taking this experimental approach, just like I was talking about earlier, and they're testing things out, right? So they're trying to be innovative. I think it's really interesting play, especially since they're reliant on the U.S. dollar, but they can't change any of the policies, right? So adopting something like Bitcoin, kind of creating this position where, hey, maybe they'll one day move away from U.S. dollars completely and go purely BTC. Now, that definitely won't happen anytime soon. It's just an experiment to see how it goes. But we'll see what ends up happening. So now, if we're looking at the top decentralized finance projects, by market cap, we see Uniswap down a little bit on the daily. Terra Luna is killing it, up 20%. Yesterday, I made a video kind of how I'm looking at some of these projects in the blockchain market and kind of analyzing them from the perspective of, okay, you see these outliers like Terra Luna really popping off, like Cardano really popping off. Some of the other ones, let's see, who else? Oh, Solana did really, really well. And that's the overall blockchain project, right? So then you have other projects that are built on top of that blockchain. And those are what I'm interested in because most of those haven't recovered at all. So if you're going to be trading in this market, doing some of the recovery plays, that's what you want to look at is really, okay, so like what are these projects in the different blockchain ecosystems that have done really, really well throughout like past market cycles, and if you really can identify that the project is quality, then you can go in and you can at least be a bit more I don't know, you could say opportunistic and go, okay, if you take a core position in one of these projects like Solstarter, for example, I was talking about a lot of these launch pads I think are quite interesting, or Kava's one that hasn't really, actually it's recovered quite nicely, but let's take a look at like Injective Protocol is a great example. This is a decentralized exchange that allows you to create basically any trading pair you want and kind of also add liquidity to it. So, man, I need to shave right here. I need to go to a barber. But Injective Protocol, let's see. So they really have not recovered at all. I'm struggling with this stream, man. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how this screen recording is going. Again, I apologize, guys. Let's see. So I recently put my money in Pulth, and I'm happy with growth already. Your quality deserves a much larger audience. Thanks, Wealth. Yeah, man, I would still be doing this even if no one was watching. Like, I understand that, yeah, it's all about, like, growing your YouTube channel or whatever. People focus on this only. But I don't know. I kind of just enjoy doing it. Like I was saying, even if nobody was watching, this is still what I would be doing. It's just what I love to do. I got this dude that was like hating on me the other day, but it's so funny. Like it's been such an abundance of support and people that really enjoy that I put out this free content. And there's this one guy that's just angry, and I just kind of laugh. It's just kind of funny to see how different people react to different things. And the first little bit of kind of like angry person watching was kind of interesting. So anyways, I think he may be a bit jaded. So point is, things like Injective Protocol are doing great. I respect that you were into Pulse early. Let's see. So here with Injective Protocol, since I'm having troubles with the stream, I might not go as long as I was thinking. But Injective Protocol really hasn't recovered. I'm trying to figure out how to be interactive with this. The problem with these streams, and if anyone knows this software and is watching this back, let me know, because this is the first time ever using the software. I literally downloaded it like 20 minutes before I went live with this. So definitely let me know. Basically, how do you interact with the screen? So I can add the browser link, like right here with Injective Protocol. You can see I can add this browser link, but the problem that I face is I can't interact with it. Like I can't actually move the browser. I can't have it like just record my screen while being in the stream. That's what really the goal is. So let's see here if I can do this. Interact. There we go. Because I just want to scroll down. That's all I want to do to show you guys the chart, but I guess there's some problems. Anyways, Injective Protocol really hasn't recovered. I can just talk about it. So we were at right around, peaked up above $24 and bottomed out with Injective right around $5.87. Now we've recovered a little bit, but definitely not as much as all these other projects, like Kava, for example. We peaked up at $7.46, and now it's doing the exact same thing that Solana and Cardano and these other projects are doing, where they're retesting these highs, and some of them are even breaking past it, like Solana. So that's basically all. As far as like top decentralized finance projects, personally, what I'm watching are things like PokerStarter, things like Injective Protocol. I do like Kava. FTM is interesting, but really it comes down to these blockchain plays that haven't recovered. So I would say the blockchain plays that haven't recovered that I'm personally most interested in is Polkadot, so ticker symbol DOT, Avalanche, FTM. You have Terra Luna's already recovered, Cardano's already recovered, Solana's already recovered. So I would say maybe TrustSwap is interesting. So if I pull up TrustSwap here, I would just see any of these that really haven't caught up, right? So if everything is retesting these highs, but there's some of these other projects that are still undervalued, ticker symbol swap. Like, let's check out. So check out these. TrustSwap is really interesting, actually. So the high was $4.32, and now we're back down at $1.14. So just to get to where all these other projects have already done in literally a day time frame, it can do a 4x from here. So TrustSwap, some of these launch pads are what I'm personally watching. So that's basically what I would say. Injective Protocol is in a relative good spot. Beyond that, I would say just looking at some of the categories. So if you're on CoinMarketCap and you just are on the homepage, typically it'll just put you right on the cryptocurrencies. Then you can go to categories. Here, I'll put this up on the stream so you guys can see it. Let's go properties here. Boom. Okay, yeah, that's how you look at it, right? So this is the category section, and in the category section, then you can go, okay, like what's what's corresponding to that different blockchain. And that's kind of what I was talking about there. What do you think about under-collateralized DeFi loans? I think they are compelling relatively. It depends what you're doing with them. I mean, under-collateralized DeFi loans, personally, I'm not doing them. If you're doing some things like yield farming, there is some arbitrage there. But I think over the long run, these opportunities will be exploited. So I don't think it's necessarily a great long-term strategy using these flash loans. But if you have a set purpose and you know exactly what you're doing with it, it's great. I think it's also good to be a liquidity provider for these things. So beyond that, I mean, that's pretty much all for this Daily DeFi episode. It was a bit rough. I apologize. Testing out this new streaming software, kind of a challenge. But that's all for this one. Daily DeFi number 200. Invest